You're listening to Winnipeg's Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak. Prepare to be spellbound by the haunting voices of Esprit de Choeur. Mysticism and Magic explores hidden truths, mystical spells, and the mysteries of love. To hear more, conductor, artistic director, and perhaps even head sorceress Valdine Anderson has joined me. Good morning.
Good morning. I haven't ever been referred to as a head sorceress before.
Well, if ever the time, Valdine, Mysticism and Magic seems appropriate.
For sure.
An enchanting concert planned for this weekend, an absolute stunner of a centerpiece, and I want to get right to it. Fauré's Reqiuem.
I know.
Can you tell us more about what's planned?
It's so beautiful, and I found a version for treble voices, and it was just like, okay, this we have to do. So, we've just been enjoying the journey of all 7 movements. It's just so beautiful, and what's so special about it, and what was really making it the core for this theme, is Fauré's take on what that journey from life into what comes next is all about, and. You know, he had a really strong reaction to Berlioz's Requiem. I think he's quoted as saying he detested it and and just hated the bombacity of the orchestration and the fear and the drama of it all, and wanted to invoke his own kind of feeling about it. And being a church organist himself and going through the burial of the dead services so many times, he knew it by heart and wanted his own take, which was a gentler one and something perhaps a little bit more celebrating the mystical, maybe not being so scared, thinking of it as a peaceful end. And of course he says Requiem aeterna so many times, which is eternal rest. And so it's a beautiful concept.
It really is. I mean, of course, this, one of his best-known large works, a celebrated composition, originally for mixed choir, soprano, baritone soloist, orchestra, and organ. But as you say, you found a version for treble voices.
Yes.
What do you think that does to the work in terms of just hearing those upper voices? I imagine it almost adds to that sort of ethereal, serene element. Is that fair to say?
I think so. I think originally he had boy sopranos singing the solos because of the church not allowing women to do that. So in that sense, perhaps it lends itself more to an original concept. But it really, there's so much richness in the harmony. It's a different version for sure. There's a beauty in the mixed voices, but we just wanted to do it, and it's beautiful in any shape and form.
As you say, a very different take on the Requiem. 7 movements. Fauré famously, I like how you say death and then whatever comes next, because Fauré famously was a skeptic, I think is how his own son described him. And as you say, rather than focusing on the tragic and the loss and the grief, he really offers something far more peaceful and calming and serene. Can we talk about, you mentioned that this particular arrangement, what about the accompaniment? Are we expecting an organ accompaniment, something different? How's that going to work?
We were able to find an organ accompaniment. So we've got Rachel Dick, who is such an accomplished pianist, but she's also she was a double major organ at U of M. So it's wonderful for her to be able to play on the Knox organ, Knox United Church organ. And she's been enjoying that journey. And I can't wait for all the colors that, come with that massive instrument. So
it's a real stunner of a piece, and excited to hear the voices of Esprit perform this particular arrangement. There's more music of Fauré on the program, is there not? The fables?
Yes. Yeah, we're doing that beautiful 2-part song of his called Le Ruisseau, and it's just really a very sweet allegory of a stream and a flower, and they talk to each other, and sadly the love relationship doesn't work out, but it's charming, and we morph from fables into spells, and we get into the real, I don't know if you'd call it mystical or magical, but certainly just a desire for things through spells. So
And in terms of those spells, spells cast by American composer Libby Larsen, her book of spells, 5 of them, right?
Yes, that's right.
Can you tell us more about this work?
Well, yeah. I mean, how many of us don't kind of wish for, I hope if I buy this house that it's going to be a lucky house, you know? And so, of course, there's a spell for making your house lucky, and there's the spell for keeping your lover close and not letting him wander, or her, and of course there's spell for money, and like all the things that we all think about. So.
Yeah, very practical spell settings.
Actually, they are very practical. There's another one that's just to enhance your studying, reception, make you a better studier. So it's fun.
Yeah. So for any students listening, all the more reason to make their way down to Knox United. And then rounding out the program, there's a couple other composers, Andre Previn and Dan Forrest. How do they factor into things?
We've got. I'll start with the Dan Forrest piece. It's called "The Sun Never Says," and it's really just a song celebrating the profoundness of love that doesn't expect anything back. And the poem, which is so beautiful, just says, "The sun never says you owe me for all that it gives the earth." And it's just it just kind of seems to tie in with all that. But it has a beautiful cello solo, and we've brought cellist Barry Filsame into the program, and in wanting to celebrate his great artistry, we've asked him to perform Andre Previn's vocalese for soprano, cello, and piano.
Oh.
And that's so beautiful. And we have Paulina Gonzalez singing the solo there. So
Wonderful and beautiful voice she has.
Beautiful voice. And the three of them with Rachel Dick on piano make a stunning trio. So it's a song without words, so you can imagine what you want with that work.
The last Esprit concert featured a well-known name, the one and only Ron Paley. This time working with more of an up-and-comer, I guess I could call Barry, a graduate of the U of M. He's been a regular player with the Manitoba Chamber Orchestra. I've seen him up on the stage there a few times this season as well. It'll be a wonderful opportunity for Winnipeg audiences to hear him in this particular arrangement, right?
Yes, and he's actually performing a solo as well. It's Schumann's
wonderful.
Abendlied. So,
gorgeous.
I know. So it's a real feature for him, but also we're so delighted to have his artistry in the program. So, yes, he's as you say, up and coming. He's been performing with the Winnipeg Symphony too.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, so he's a busy teacher at the U of M. So a great asset to the Winnipeg community.
Certainly. So the concert coming up tomorrow, Saturday, May 6th at, we should always point this out, the acoustically wonderful Knox United Church. It's such a wonderful space, isn't it?
It's beautiful. It's massive and stunning to look at. And then, of course, just what a treat to sing in such a fantastic, almost cathedral, really.
I always hesitate to say this, but it's a wonderful space to let your mind wander. You don't just have to be staring at the stage. Your gaze can go all over, and you can just kind of go with the music that way to come back to this Fauré Reqiuem. It is just one of those works that you can kind of get lost in a way.
That's very true. Just looking at the ceiling, the artistry of the woodwork, and the stonework and the beautiful windows. You're right. There's lots to appreciate.
And that sun is going to be streaming in. It's an afternoon concert, 3 p.m., fingers crossed weather-wise. But I think that, again, this is where that warmth and that light of the Fauré Requiem is going to shine through. A wonderfully planned concert, Mysticism and Magic. Valdine, thanks as always for coming in this morning.
Thanks so much for having me.
And we've got details up at classic107.com under the events tab. You can also get your tickets through Eventbrite on the Esprit website. That's Esprit de Choeur, ESPRITDECHOEUR. I think I got it right, Valdine. .com. Lovely seeing you.
Great. Thanks so much.